Today we're looking at Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution. Hello and welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out the worksheet in the description that goes along with this video, available at dailybellringer.com. Thus far in the United States Constitution, we've shown how the first three articles created the framework for the United States government. Then in Article 4, it established state relationships. But now we move on to Article 5. Article 5, which is the first article to not include sections, and actually all the remaining articles 6 and 7 do not include sections either. But Article 5 establishes the process by which the Constitution can be amended or changed. An amendment is simply an addition or changing of the Constitution. Now, before I get into the procedure laid out in the Constitution, I want to take a brief moment to discuss the difference between a law and an amendment. If you remember back to Article 1, Section 7, it established how a bill becomes a law by passing with a majority vote in both houses of Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate, and then being signed or approved by the President. Now, laws are continually being debated and voted upon. And the way I describe the difference between a law and amendment is a law is like a stream of water. Over time, it flows and changes course. And if I were to throw a rock into a stream, it would change the course. And if I were to dig a ditch next to a stream, it would fill with water and again change the stream's course. All of these would take work, but it would not be an extreme amount of effort to get that done. On the other hand, an amendment is like a concrete path or sidewalk. If I wanted to change the course, I would have to get a jackhammer and bust it out and then pour new concrete, which would take a lot of work and a lot of effort. Two, I could use the concrete to build, say, a dam that could completely change the course of a stream of water or even block the water altogether. Likewise, an amendment is difficult to get added to the Constitution, but once it's added, it can block and shape laws that are proposed. So in all of U.S. history, the Constitution has only been amended 27 times, and actually the first 10 of those amendments, the Bill of Rights, were all adopted at one time. Now, how do you amend the Constitution of the United States? There's actually two different methods laid out in the document. However, only one method has ever been used in all of U.S. history. The main method includes the following. First, the amendment is introduced in Congress and must get a supermajority, or in other words, a 2/3 majority vote in both houses. From there, the amendment is sent to the states to be debated by each state's individual legislatures. In the state legislatures, they must vote, and if 3/4 of the states vote in favor of the amendment is then added to the Constitution. So again, the numbers to remember here is 2/3 of Congress in favor of it and 3/4 of the states for the amendment to pass. Now notice that the president has nothing to do with this entire process. It's purely the legislative branch and the states. So like I said, this is the only method that has ever actually been used to amend the Constitution. However, the founders were concerned about the federal government having too much power, so they also wrote in, I guess you could say, a backdoor method to get an amendment added. In this alternate method, 2/3 of the states have to call for a constitutional convention for an amendment to be introduced. The introduced amendment then has to be voted on, and 3/4 of those states that called for the conventions must approve the amendment for it to be added to the Constitution. So the numbers to remember here is 2/3 of the states call for a convention, and then 3/4 of the states approve the amendment. Note, with this method, the federal government plays no role whatsoever. This was a loophole purposely put in by the founders so that the states had some power to change the federal government in case they felt the federal government became too powerful or was abusing their power. And as I mentioned before, amending the Constitution is not an easy process. In fact, it's so difficult it hasn't happened in the United States since 1992 with the 27th Amendment. That's over 25 years ago. So when and if you hear talk of amending the Constitution, be sure to take note, as it's something that does not happen very often. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.